Marie Kondo. She is a home organizer, and she had a crazy hot Netflix show come out last year. And she also has a best-selling book called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up. And she's just got, it's a really cool way of kind of thinking about organizing. And so I don't know, I'm really all about that, especially up here when it's really, really cold come beginning of January. Very dark out, and it's a good time to do that. I know for you, you're probably out boating, so you don't want to organize, but up here, you know, if you're in the Midwest, it's a good time to do this.
Yeah, see, we don't have a lot of storage space here though, because we have no basements, we have limited access to our attics, and then, you know, our garages, typically we have 2, maybe 3 car garages, but still you have to fit all of your stuff in there. So we don't have a ton of space, and this is where it's so crucial. And I know this is so speaking your language, because I remember you doing this last year and being super proud of yourself. And you know, I think what the purging does is really, really makes you feel better. It makes you feel better about your home, right? When you're, you know, you can open your closets, you can see everything in there. And sometimes it stops you from buying more stuff because you realize you have more things than you realized.
Yeah, you feel lighter. I guess that's like the word I would explain, or, you know, characterize how I felt last year when I did this. I just felt lighter. I didn't have like so much stuff bogging me down, and you just focus on the stuff that you do like, and then get rid of the stuff that's not like serving you any purpose. And that's kind of like the gist of this like methodology, or this method. So the basic idea of how you do this KonMari method is you organize by category, not room. So most people, me included, and even now, like I have to make myself go back to this method, but we typically go room to room. Like you start in your closet, you start in your bedroom, then you go to the office, then your bathroom. And with this method, it's really about going by category. So the categories, there's specific ones. So, and you have to do them in a specific order. So you start with clothes, then books, paper, miscellaneous, and then sentimental items. So how you do this is you pile everything in the center of the room. So if, say you're doing clothes, you take every piece of clothing you own and you pile them usually like on your bed. And I think I took a picture of it last year. I mean, mounds of clothes. And then you just really look at it and you're just like, wow, like this is so much stuff. How do I even have this much stuff? And then you go item by item and you just hold the item. You think about like, when's the last time you used it? How does it make you feel? And if it doesn't spark joy, that's the terminology she uses, you thank the item for how it served you, and then you get rid of it. You donate it, you throw it out, whatever. So that's kind of the overall method. But I think it's really effective. Like you're really thanking it sounds silly to thank the items for something when they're just, you know, they're not a person, but it's just like thanking them for what they've done for you. Maybe you had an outfit that you had your first job interview in, or you wore on your first date or something, and it has some sentimental value, but just because it does that, you don't have to keep it. You can thank it for what it's done and with the purpose it served, and move on.
Love that.
Yeah.
It sounds very peaceful, like that you could just let it go.
Yeah, like I think I would, if you haven't checked out the Netflix episode or the series, definitely try to check it out, because I think I could keep her voice on like a soundtrack while I'm sleeping, and it would really like soothe me. It's very relaxing. So the whole thing is very therapeutic. There's a lot of crying in the episodes too, because it is like your stuff is an extension of you. And there's some people that they went into their houses and they were, you know, kind of hoarders. And so you're able to kind of see how they break through that. And every one of us has a little bit of hoarder in them, whether it's shoes or paperwork or whatever. Mm-hmm. So kind of it is therapeutic to kind of look at things differently and try to get rid of some of that stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people get really overwhelmed with even thinking about having to clear things out. And I think that's why it's so important. Like you named off where to start and then tackle that, you know, that list instead of just trying to clear everything out, because it can be really overwhelming. And you know, people, like you said, they get super emotional when they have to get rid of things. And I know for me, sometimes it takes so long because I start looking at stuff, you start analyzing, and you know, you could spend a whole day really in one room.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing is you don't have to do all this. Just like any HGTV show, this is the same way. It's like they revamp their house in 40 minutes or whatever, and you can do it a little bit at a time, once a week. You know, just taking some time. Doesn't have to be you knock out your whole house in a weekend, because that can be really overwhelming. But some other ways that you can, you know, do this method and you can really try to make sure you stay with it is she has a lot of tips on how she folds clothes and organize things like in drawers, so that you don't get back into the same routine that you did before by just throwing stuff and then you don't realize what you have or know what you have. I'm really guilty of this. Like I have like 1,000 clothes and you keep re-wearing the same things because it's just the top thing on your dresser drawer. So I don't know if we have a photo of this, but she's really big fan of folding over hanging things in your
Mm,
closet. So she really has a specific way of folding as well. So it's you fold things, and instead of stacking your, like, say your shirts, for example, on top of one another, you almost do it like it's a file folder. So you fold things so you can see everything in your drawer. So that I think was a really helpful thing, because you mean something's stacked, you've got like 10 shirts in your drawer, you're never going to wear the bottom five. The other thing is using boxes inside our drawers to help organize things. So like I mean, we've done this at our house, like just like with like old shoe boxes you put in your drawer, but you're able to organize and make multiple drawers in one kind of. So
mm.
stuff like socks and underwear that would normally just be thrown in, and you like are missing the matching sock, everything is way more organized. So you're able to like micro organize, which is kind of cool.
Yes, and I love what she does in drawers. Like, okay, bathroom vanity is a perfect example of this. So most people just throw all of their stuff and it's super unorganized. You can't find anything. You can go to TJ Maxx or Home Goods and buy these little clear organizers that have separate compartments, and you can organize all of your belongings so that when you do need that one thing, it's right there. You know exactly where it is.
Yeah, exactly. The bathroom was the worst thing for me. I feel like I'm just the type that I'm like, oh, you're gonna give me a free body wash or a free eyeliner, like I'm gonna take it, and then I'm just gonna like hoard everything and never use any of it. So that was, I think, the one that I felt the most like, oh my God, I can breathe again, especially because a bathroom is a really small space. So it's overwhelming when you've just got so much stuff in there. So yeah, that's getting stuff organized like that. But you don't even have to go out and buy those things if you don't want to, like using, like I said, old boxes or even dividers. If you've got, save your Amazon boxes and cut off the flaps, and you can put those in your drawers just to kind of divide your drawers up. So you can really do it for very inexpensive. But if you have some extra change in your pocket at the end of the year and you want to hire a certified KonMari consultant, you can do that. Their exact prices aren't really that available. You have to kind of reach out to them, because they're all at different levels. Like they have different levels of certification. But based on my reading, you can hire at the lowest level a consultant for about 500 bucks, just to come for like a single consultation, or you can spend up to like several $1,000s for the higher level consultant to come multiple times, like very similar to how Marie Kondo does in her show. They'll
Mhm.
come back and check on you and give you tips along the way when you do your entire house.
Yeah. And I think that sounds really expensive, but we live in such a throwaway society that
Mhm.
if you think about having somebody come in, teach you how to be organized, let's just say we'll use a pantry as an example. How much stuff do you throw away food wise because you shove it in the back and you never use it and you end up throwing it away, or you forget about it? That, or clothing. How many times will you say, women, I have nothing to wear and go out and buy something new.
Yep.
And then you end up finding that one thing that was shoved in the back that you completely forgot about. So
Mhm.
I think by really learning how to be organized and effective, could actually save you money.
Definitely something to check out. And like I said, check out the Netflix show and also the book, The Life Changing Magic of Tidying Up.